Hi guys, I'm Kanishka and I am basically representing NFTically today. So what we do is we are the technology providers, we are the platform providers that are not only enabling you, empowering you to launch NFTs, but do that by creating your own white label market store. We are actually giving the technology to create something on the similar lines as OpenSea, right? The same technology, the same features. You can have your own white label market store that you can customize as per your requirements. And just to show you a glimpse of how solid the technology is, how efficient, how quick, how smoothless this, how frictionless this entire process is going to be. So I'm just going to showcase a small part of it, that part which most people find really interesting, how to create NFTs, the questions that we get regularly, how do I create NFT, how do I mint it, how do I sell it. So I'm going to take care of that particular part today. And creating a store is also a very small process, but I think we need to have another session for that. So I'll stick to the agenda of the call today. I'll stick to how to, create an NFT, how to make the NFT live. So I'll just start directly. Yeah, my screen is visible. I hope. Uncle, can you give me a thumbs up on this?
You can see it.
Okay, great. Thank you. So guys, okay, right. So guys, this is a marketplace that I just created, using NFTically. And this is how the outlay of the marketplace would be. All this that you can see is completely customizable. Currently, I'm using a domain provided by NFTically, but this domain can also be customized. You can customize your the title of the store, its description, these buttons, this logo, so you can have everything customized. So that is the beauty of this technology, this platform, that it enables you with the right technology to set the right foot in this fast evolving NFT space. So yeah, let's get started with the agenda. So how do we create NFTs exactly? As you can see, I have created 2 NFTs. Now, to create an NFT, we first have to understand that we are required to build a collection. So whenever an NFT is created, it basically goes under a collection, and the collection is first deployed on the blockchain network. Fine. So the first step of creating an NFT is to create a collection. Now, how do we do that? Since I'm the store owner, I have the access to the backend of the store. I just need to go over this icon. I can go to my store. Okay, my NFTs, and this is collections. I have created one collection. Now, in order, because I am taking you to the process from very scratch, so let's start with building a collection. Simply go to create collection, hit create now. Now, NFTically provides you 4 blockchain networks that you can use on your store. It's Ethereum, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, and Chronos. So I'm going to do this minting on Polygon. I just have to enter, a name for the collection. Suppose I say my first collection. I would have to put up a logo. That will be very quick. Let me just do it in a GIF. Yeah. Let me choose something from, say, this. A little description of the store, that is completely optional. So I'm just going to skip it for the time's sake. So let's not make it too long, lengthy. So you can add a description over here. Collection type, you can have 2 types of collection, ERC721 and ERC1155. So I'm explaining for those who are not familiar with these terms. So ERC721 represents the non-fungible token type. That means for one NFT, you can have only one copy. These are applicable only for unique assets. Suppose there is a painting by some, celebrated painter. So that painting can only have one as a piece, right? It's unique. So that type of assets go under 721 collection, which cannot be fudged or which cannot be replicated with some other quantity or other asset. While a semi-fungible collection, the ERC1155 helps you to, it helps when you want to create multiple copies of a same asset. Suppose I have a music album and I want to sell 5,000 copies of that music album as NFTs. Now, how do I do that? I'll do that by creating an ERC1155 collection. I hope this is clear. So since I'm using a picture and I want it to be unique, an NFT in its own type, so I'll go for ERC721 collection. Now I can choose from the categories, what all categories are provided. These categories are also customizable. Whatever categories you are actually seeing right now, art, utility, collectibles, trading cards, virtual world, these are all provided by default. So I'll take you to the backend also, and I'll show you how you can customize and build up more categories. So for now, I'm just going to add it into collectibles, and I'll just hit create now. My collection is created. Okay. Moving on, this is the page where you can edit your collection. Now, what's more to it? You can add a featured image. This is optional. This actually goes for, from the SEO perspective, if you add a featured image, this helps you to cache Google your store in a better manner. So this is for SEO purpose. If you have a beautiful image to support this NFT, you can do that. Name we have already given. This will be the URL of this collection. Description again, if you have skipped this stage at that step, you can give a description now. Categories we have already collected. We have already mentioned. You can give some links over here. If you have special social media handles that support this particular collection, you can state all these links over here. Now, this is interesting part, royalty. I hope many of us, when we enter NFTs as artists, we are more for royalties, that I will be able to collect royalty in perpetuity. So this is the stage where you can select a royalty. Royalty is something that once you sell an item, once you sell an NFT, and that NFT again gets sold or resold multiple times, so on those transactions, you will receive a percentage as royalty. So royalties are applicable on secondary sale. Once you have made the primary sale as an artist, after that, how many times that asset will be again sold, you will always get the royalty as your commission. So suppose I write 2% and I have to provide a wallet address. Okay, so since I'm the, suppose I'm the artist in this case, so I would just need my wallet address. Here's my wallet. I'll copy it and I'll paste it. So whenever my NFT will be, sold again in the market, I will receive a 2% commission on that. Whatever the amount of that NFT would be, I'll get a 2% cut in that. And I'll do save changes. Okay, now my collection is complete. What I have to do, I have to create the NFT. This is the second and the most important step now. Once you are into the collection, you just have to go to add item. Now this item is our NFT. Okay, so now I have to choose whatever thing that I want to put it up as NFT, whether it's a picture of my sculpture, it's a picture of my painting that I would be giving to the buyer. Suppose I choose this one. Suppose it's my painting. I have the physical art as well, and I have just clicked a good picture of my painting, and I'm just uploading it as the NFT. So whoever claims my NFT will also get the physical asset. This is an optional feature that you can also provide. Suppose something is very rare in the digital format only, so NFTs get sold for millions. So this is my NFT. Name, I can write any name. Suppose I say abstract. External link, if I have suppose some external link that can support this NFT, suppose if I have a blog specifically dedicated to this particular NFT, this particular painting, I can use that link over here. A little description, what this NFT actually tells. Suppose I say a man's portrait. amidst the daily hustle. Something like that. I'm just using words of my mind. Please don't mind me. And the properties, of course, what can I include as the properties for NFTs? I can include its rarity, how rare this painting is. I can say it's very rare. Add more. What type of painting it is. I can say it's abstract. The year of creation, I can say. Suppose it's 2001 and save. So all these properties would be displayed once my NFT is published, and people can see what all unique properties that does this NFT has. And simply, since it is a 7-to-1 collection, the supply can only be one. Okay, because it's a unique asset. Create.
So Kanishka, can you have multiple supply of the same creative as well?
Yeah, that would go under ERC 1155 collection.
Okay.
Since I created an ERC 7-to-1 collection, an asset can only have one unique type of it, right?
Correct. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So now this is the NFT. We have just created it. We have not minted it yet. Okay. Minting is similar to selling. That once I mint it, that NFT is put up on sale and anybody can come and buy it. So let me just do that as well. The most exciting part. Now, as you can see, I'm on my NFT page and I can see this option, right? And you can see all those properties that are listed have come up here, right? Rarity, painting, year, everything. Who has created it, the details, everything. Once we mint it, we will be able to see the token ID and the blockchain address as well. So let's mint it. Just click on sell. Now we provide you two modes of selling your NFTs. One is the set price, wherein you can have simply mention the amount that you would like to receive, against selling your assets. Suppose I say I would want to receive 2000 matrix, and when I post, so it will be up. So anybody who has 2000 matrix can buy my asset. Another way to sell your thing is auction. We provide English and Dutch auction. You can have any. For in this case, you have to provide a minimum bid. Minimum bid is the amount from where the auction will start. Okay, this amount will be visible to all the bidders. So they would know, okay, this is the minimum price set and I have to start bidding after this price. Reserve price is something which is set by the seller and is not visible to anybody. So this is the price at which, below this, whoever has bidden, they will they will not have a chance. So you say that, okay, I have to sell it at 100 matrix. So whoever has bidded below 100, they won't have a chance. So anybody who is bidding above 100 will come in the race now. Okay, so this is a reserve price. So you have to mention all these amounts and expiration date for the auction. So whatever date you will put it, after that, the auction will automatically get expired. So today I'm going to go for set price. Suppose I say I want to sell it for 1 matic. And this is a unique option, payout group. I'm going to dedicate it to myself. Like I want to receive the complete 100% sale proceeds of this. But in order you have some multiple stakeholders to your NFTs, you can create a payout group. I'll show you how to do that in the later half. So let me post it for now. Yeah. So because as you guys can remember, we first created a collection and then we added the first NFT in this collection. So whenever we mint NFT for the first time under any collection, 3 types of collection would take place. 3 types of transactions would take place. First is the collection deployment fee. Okay, I have to confirm it. Yeah, my transaction is complete. It will again ask me for another. This is the asset minting fees. Now my NFT is getting minted on the blockchain. First, my collection got deployed. Now my NFT is getting minted. Confirm. My another transaction is confirmed. So the last pop-up would be for approval. Now I have to approve that yes, I'm okay with this. This is my NFT, this is my collection, and confirm. Now this three-step process is only when I'm adding an NFT for the first time in a collection. Now in the same collection, one second, in the same collection, if I add another NFT and I put it on minting, then only the NFT minting fee will be applicable, not other fees. I hope this is clear. Yeah. So our asset is on sale. Now you can see I have put this up on the sale. So anybody who comes to my store and sees this NFT is on sale, so they can purchase it. This is how easy, how efficient the system is. And I'll just steal this opportunity to show you how interesting features we are providing to all our store owners. So it'll just take a few moments. So this is the back end of the store. This is where the store owner would have all the controls. So these are general settings for where you can update your logo, the store name. I'm not going to go into very general settings. I'm going to take you through very smart features that we have. We have one SEO section where you can provide all the SEO details, your metadata, keywords, right keywords, and this will actually help your store to rank up higher. So this is an inbuilt feature that you can use. All these are customizable option appearance. We offer these color palette themes that you can choose. We also have a dark mode. So this is how a store in dark mode would look like. Right. So all this is customization features that you can use to make the change the look and feel of the store as per your requirements. You can change the name, the description. You can have customizable call to action buttons on the homepage that would direct the traffic to certain call of actions where you want the traffic to get diverted. You can have, let me show you where does it come up. Yeah, these are the featured assets. So you can choose whatever features you want to showcase on your homepage. You can add up to 4 images over here. Right, and this is a very unique function. This is called users and roles. So, okay, this is a premium feature. I'll just show you in my other store right now. Just give me a moment. So what happens under team feature is that you can build your own team. Now, suppose the store owner single-handedly, sometimes it becomes difficult to manage this entire marketplace. You can build your own team. Okay, so you can add different people into your team and you can give them different roles so that everyone is performing that particular role and your store is or your marketplace is getting managed efficiently. So I'll show you how this feature particularly works. Yeah. So if I have to add a user, I would just have to enter their name, their email address. Email address is optional for now. The wallet address. Now you have to remember that having a wallet is necessary for anybody to get associated with NFTcally. So wallet address is your key to, you don't get a login password, you don't get anything like that. Your wallet is your key to log in into any of the stores powered by NFTcally. And these are all the roles that you can assign to your teammate.
Kanishka, could you speak about some which are the wallets that have which are the wallets you can connect with?
Yeah, we have MetaMask. We support Fortmatic, and we support an umbrella wallet that is Wallet Connect. Now, Wallet Connect allows you to get linked to any of the Ether-based wallet. Okay, right. So you have Wallet Connect, MetaMask, and Fortmatic. So you can use either of them to link your account to NFTcally.
And awesome. And how about a Ledger? A Ledger wallet, like if somebody wants to connect with a Ledger, do you support?
as of now, only these options are available. So yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so this is the options that you can give to your teammates. Somebody could be admin. Admins are able to, manage the entire store. They can change the customization, all these things. The other is admin plus NFT manager. This is a powerful role. So when somebody is given this access, they can manage NFTs as well. They can decide at what price they want to sell NFTs and everything. Other is manage blog access. If you want somebody to specifically manage your blogs, you can do that. And there are other various accesses, like you can allow somebody to create their NFTs, sell their NFTs. Also, you can also restrict the user behavior on a marketplace. Suppose if you just want to, keep it a closed store and do not want anybody else to list their items on your store, you can close this option by keeping it here. So people now visiting your marketplace will only be able to buy your NFTs. However, if you give them this access, they will also be able to create their own NFTs and sell their own NFTs. So it completely is at the discretion of the store owner. How would they want to treat their marketplace as a closed one or a completely open one? So this is the team feature. This is where you can merge your analytics and integration part. So we have Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, Facebook Pixel, Mixpanel. So all these integrations can be used, to track the performance of your store. For email white labeling marketing campaign, you can link your APIs with MailChimp, MadMimi, and SendGrid. And we are also bringing Zapier very soon. So this will allow you to, use other web applications directly on your store. This is blogs. Now you can have your own blogs. If you want to have a dedicated section. 1 second, let me just over here. Yeah. So yeah. So if you want to have a dedicated page for the blogs for your market store, so that you can keep your audiences, your visitors updated, what all NFTs they can expect. So you can have a separate blog post page here. Okay, so this is a similar version to WordPress, very easy to use. And we have airdrop. Airdrop is an amazing feature wherein that this helps you to, drop NFTs in bulk. Suppose you have hundreds and thousands of NFTs to drop at one go. How would you do that? You can do this with airdrop. We have gated links. What are gated links? Gated links are something like you have some content which has not been seen publicly. It's extremely rare, and you have stored it on a link, and now you want people to access it, but by paying some fee or something. So what you can do is you can lock that link, and you can ask people to buy your NFTs in order to access that link. So once they buy your NFTs and provide you with a token ID, then only they can, access those links. So under this only, we are so very soon going to provide event tickets also. If you want to have an e-event, so you can sell your tickets as NFTs. And one more feature that I wanted to cover was the payout groups. So this is basically, this helps you to split your revenue, right? Suppose you have multiple stakeholders associated with a particular NFT, and you want that whatever sale proceeds I'm going to get, that gets equally divided or in the respective ratio, or from the origin only. So what you can do is enter the beneficiary name, the email address, and their wallet address. Okay, you can add up to 10 people in a group, and each group is created for a particular NFT. So here you can put the respective ratio. Suppose somebody is to get 15%, somebody is to get 20%. And when you save this group, so at the time of the sale of the NFT, that the sale proceed will automatically get distributed in the said ratio. So there'll be no point of conflict in that manner. So this is how these features are built, keeping in consideration what all people might need, as store owners, as marketplace owners. So yeah, I think I'm done from my side. We can have a quick discussion as how was it, how everybody felt and everything.
That was great, Kanishka. Thank you very much. It simplifies the mystical world of NFTs. But when you saw your presentation, it's actually so simple and useful. So yes, Mary, you have a question, please go ahead.
Am I unmuted now?
Yes, you are. Sorry,
Thank
that,
you.
that was my bad. That was my bad. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Kanisha. That was wonderful. Could you show us how you use the unlockable content?
Yeah, of course. I'll just do that. 1 second. Okay, yeah. Let me go to my NFTs. Okay. Let me go back to my other one. This one's minted, so can't do much about it. So let me go to one of the unminted ones. So I'll show you how to do that. Okay. So here's the unlockable content, right? Suppose if you have something that a person can unlock while purchasing an NFT, we can describe whatever the unlockable content is, not reveal everything, but a little hints about it. What is it? So that it excites the person. And here can go the link, the key, if it's a coupon code, if it's a discount code, that code can go over here. If it's a link that have some special content that the person can, suppose you have an entire movie to stream and you're just uploading the teaser or the trailer as the NFT, then you can put that entire link over here. And once you save it, the people who are buying the NFT will only be able to unlock that content. No,
Try
she
now.
can't.
Unmute. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
what I'm wondering is, can you embed layers into the NFT so that when the person purchases the NFT, you have layers that reveal themselves? And how do we do that? What technical process do we use?
Well, what kind of layers are we exactly talking about? Because if you can
visual layers and let's say text layers, visual and text layers.
Well, as of now, this unlockable content gives you an additional layer to put it. Apart from it, currently the technology does not cover it, to give more additional layers. So yeah, and with unlockable content, you can create that additional layer. That is it.
Yes,
yeah,
please.
hi Sandeep. Yeah.
So I'm sorry I joined the session a little late, but I've heard a lot about OpenSea being like the Amazon kind of marketplace for NFTs. So I have two questions. One is that the platform which you've shown, is it like a competitor? I think Priyanka has answered a part of it. But the second follow-up question that I have is that how difficult is it to get audiences to come on your own store vis-a-vis a place like OpenSea where everyone is exhibiting? So in terms of getting the best price.
Yeah, of course, that's a genuine concern. But NFT itself, when you come to us, we also push your stores, your marketplace from our side as well. So we have access to crypto communities that we can push your store to. So yeah, we help you promote it to certain level. But of course, certain efforts are of course needed from the store owner sides as well. So yeah. Also, your NFTs also get featured on NFTically supermarket. So it has a web, bigger audience. So of course, that is also acts like a push for your NFTs.
Okay, if I may ask a follow-up question. What can an artist do by themselves to promote the NFT on the marketplace, like Facebook and Twitter ads, or is this something else that one can also do?
Of course, like social media efforts are required. Apart from it, we push your NFTs on crypto communities that bring a lot of traffic. So yeah, we also help you to join other crypto communities where you can promote your NFTs. So yeah, this is a mixed feature. This is a mixed bag. We have to try and, juggle this bag and see what works, what not. So of course, it may take time if you are starting as a new entrant to the NFT thing. But of course, it helps you with your own marketplace. It helps you a lot because you play by your own rules then. Also, once you have established, your marketplace and it has reached to a substantial level, that helps you to actually provide this technology further, and you can have other artists also on your platform who will be selling their art. So you can get a commission as a store owner as well. So in that way also, the store helps you, the marketplace helps you.
Okay. Can you give me an example of that? I can go check. I'm sorry, Ankur, I'm taking so much time, but I just want to.
Example of what, sorry?
Of a store, like others who have made stores, and then there are third parties coming and selling on their stores. So just kind of, because I'm in a part of a community that does produce a lot of videos. In fact, I work with Archit, who's also on the call from Lekhak. So I'm trying to understand how can we like get all these movie makers. I'm based in Bombay, where I have like maybe hundreds of movie maker friends over here, which I can get on the store. But like, can you give me an example that we can look and learn from, and rather than going and creating something brand new?
Well, Sandeep, as of now, I cannot give you a real-time example because we are working with big brands now, and why they are coming to us is because they're getting this technology completely white labeled, right? So they are creating big marketplaces. They're setting up right now. So, but of course, to answer your this thing and to discuss your potential possibilities, what I can do is I can share my email address and we can get on a call after this thing or sometime later in the week, and we can discuss the probable scope of opportunity or the possible opportunity to collaborate and how we can help you in achieving that. I'll just leave my email address over here. So anybody who has particular doubts can certainly reach out to me.
Thank you so much. I'll get in touch with you. And thanks, Ankur, for the opportunity.
So, Kanishka, I'd like to ask you a question. So, where do you see, the NFT market once the, let's say, if I may call it the bubble, and the initial craze bursts, and what are the real life use cases, and what do you see the future of NFT, like from a sustainable angle that NFTs are here to stay for years to come? Can you give some examples of what lays ahead of us?
I think that's a very interesting question, and I think whoever enters this space has this big question mark. Is it a bubble? Is it something genuine? What is it? What's going on? So yeah, let me tell you that NFTs are here to stay, and specifically the utility based NFTs. Let me give an example. We have a client called Anypad, and they're a token launching solution. Okay, so they just launched their airdrops. All those were utility based NFTs. Whoever claimed that those NFTs got some special discount on their purchase of their product, and they were sold within 20-15 minutes of the launch, and they made up to rupees 2.5 crore INR and everything within 15 to 20 minutes. So this is something which is gaining traction. Gaming NFTs are a big crush right now. We have so many clients lined up, who wants to launch NFTs with on game avatars, special characters and everything. So all these things are having a huge demand in the market. People want to have something that's going to stay with them, in games and everything. So I think utility based NFTs would drive this craze more.
Awesome. So you can give us some tips of upcoming games, and we can invest in them pretty early on. Then Game Avatar, and which was the other one?
Oh, I can't disclose them. They are at very nascent stage right now. We have signed very secret NDAs. Yeah. So,
I'm going to message you.
You will get to know very soon. Yeah. Anything else, guys? Anybody?
Sorry, Mary, did you have another question? Your hand's still raised up, or was it from before itself? Joe, do you have anything? Navjot, do you have anything? Any questions for Kanishka before we wrap up?
Kanishka, I was actually wondering, so what excites you most about this space, about NFTs and art, and just like, have you always been looking for ways to get your work out there? Or what's the best thing about it?
I think the technology itself. I'm the big fan of the technology, the blockchain. It drives the entire thing. So, and NFTs are, a good use case of that technology. So, as I said, we'll see how this thing will take shape in the near future. So as of now, the only thing that excites me are particularly the blockchain technology in itself and this NFT use case, because I find it really useful for people who want to surpass these big conglomerates like if there's a producer who wants to just stream their film without, if there's a director who just wants to showcase their art movie, something, they don't have to fight these big intermediaries and they can just sell their tickets as NFTs and everything. So this is what is actually impressing me right now. You're on mute, Joe.
Couldn't get off mute. I was force muted. Um,
'Cause I'm on the iPad.
but
Yeah.
no, it's all good. Yeah, that's a great answer. Yeah, I think it's a lot of promise ahead. So I agree with you.
Thank you. Lynn is asking, what do you think about philanthropic NFT market? Well, it has a pretty fair chance. We have some clients who are doing it for charity. We have some celebrities lined up. Sandeep, yeah, thank you. So yeah, so we have some celebrities lined up who are saying that, whenever their NFTs get launched, they're going to, donate their all the sale proceeds and everything. So it all depends on what the end, requirement, what is the end result that a person is expecting out of that NFT sale, that NFT drop. So it's very subjective right now. But of course, whenever you add that charity angle, there's a soft corner in people's mind and say, okay, let me buy this NFT. This might go to charity. So I think that it might get a little push. Can't comment on that more. So yeah. Anything else that I can help others with? Sandeep has a question. Ankur, please unmute Sandeep.
Yeah, Sandeep.
Hi.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks, Ankur. Just a follow-up for this question on philanthropic NFT markets. Is there any data available as such that if we sell our NFTs in conjunction with an NGO for proceeds that may go for a philanthropic cause, we tend to sell more? So is there any data on philanthropic NFT markets as such within the NFT space?
Sorry, Sandeep. Right now, we do not have strict numbers for it. Maybe in some time we might be able to give you the concrete answer to it, but I don't want to mislead you on this. The earlier part that I answered was a personal observation that I had, all the time I've spent in this market. So if you want me to put a number to it, I'm sorry, I'm not in a position to do that right now, but in the near future, I might be.
Great. So I think if we don't have any more questions, we could wrap up the session. And thank you, Kanishka, for being here and for that.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much, guys, whoever joined and took out the time to listen to it. So thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.